Alright, welcome back everyone to a special edition video with Clash. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so if you've liked my content, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. That would really help me and the channel, and of course the Discord server that we run for Scoundrels. I am following up to a video I did just a few days ago on this unique comp you see here with Dooku Lead, General Grievous, some Scoundrel tanks, and of course Hoda. And in the video, maybe I made it seem a little bit easier than it was, but it definitely is gotten a lot harder with more G13, Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Bastila, and so I've made some changes to my squad to make it a lot more consistent. I wanted to go over that with you, and also wanted to go over some of the mechanics and how this gets played, because the way you play it in game takes a lot of finesse. And so first I'm showing you here just a couple examples of how it's not easy to get that continual stacking damage, because you don't always get prepared and there's a lot of AoE damage, and that really hurts Chewbacca. If you have questions on that aspect of it, the prepared and the revive and that, feel free to see me in the Scoundrel Discord. I've put a link to that in the description and details below. Happy to go over that with you. But assuming you know that and how that works, then we're going to move on to some of the more sort of advanced mechanics of this, because there's a lot of decision making that goes on. You have to know what to do. And so, but first let's talk about the upgrades I've made to VC and L3. I took both of them to Gear 13. Now, qualifier here, I know not everybody is going to be able to do that right away, but if you like those characters, you like Scoundrels, these are two very, very worthy Gear 13 based on the stat increases and durability that they both receive. L3 got a huge bump to protection, also got a huge bump to her defense and armor, which just made her one of the most tanky characters in the game. Modding perspective, I have a little bit of tenacity on her, where I used to have almost all protection, and that's mostly for PvP to keep JTRs out of my camp. Now, for Vandor Chewbacca, he was awesome at Gear 12, and if you haven't seen the video I did on modding Vandor Chewbacca, I'll put that in the link as well below. But the biggest thing here you need to know about the way to mod him and the things to consider is that he has to have a lot of health and not a lot of protection. The one downside to Gear 13 for Vandor Chewbacca is the increase to protection and the minimal increase to health. It takes his ability to get prepared more quickly down. However, it's okay because his overall durability goes way up, and so he's losing less health and protection in the long run anyway. So while I wish it would have just been straight health increase, no protection, I will take what I've got here and show you how it works in the actual battles. From a modding perspective, I didn't change anything. Health, speed where you can find some, defense, tenacity, all the good things that that you can find for him. And once you take all these things and you put a lot of math and mechanics behind it, you ultimately can come up with a very, very viable Darth Revan counter, and I'm going to show you that right now.
If X is a hypersulfuric surface composed of future inextendable null geodesic generators without equastics, i.e. the expansion of the null geodesics comprising of the horizon cannot become negatively infinite.
It worked!
Well, of course it did.
Now that, of course, represents the collective brain power of many people, not just myself, but everyone that's been helping me with this craft over the last few days. And so let's go through specifically how it works now that I've got a much tankier L3, much tankier VC, and what that means from a gameplay perspective. I get a lot of questions on that. Here's a screen cap where we see, okay, everyone's lost their protection. What do I do? It is not a big deal because VC is prepared there, so you can go ahead and AoE, not a problem with GG. Now, what do you do here? You can AoE again because there's prepared, there's mark on there. Now here's an issue. There's no prepared on VC. L3 is just a tiny amount of health, and it's GG's turn. You can still AoE here because GG didn't put mark on L3, so he's going to get counterattack. That's going to prepare Vandor Chewbacca, and you maintain your stacking damage. Okay, so now Hermit Yoda has healed everyone back up, and you've got Taunt again. Okay, we're in good shape. Dead, no problem. Dead, no problem. Okay. Now it's turn again. Go ahead. Keep doing the AoE, but every time you come to this situation where there's no prepared and L3 is seemingly at the end, what do? I felt it was safer to just go ahead and AoE there, because the next turn I knew would still be mine, and it was not going to put me in a situation where I wouldn't get prepared again. Now towards the end, and this is how most of these battles are going to go, you're going to find, oh no, what do? There's Mark, there's no prepared. You just have to go for it. This is a race between the stacking damage of GG and the loss of life that L3 is going to have, because every time he takes a turn, she's losing 16% of her health, and as he stacks his health, she's going to lose more and more and more of that initial health, to where she's just going to come back with a sliver of health every time. So I felt it was better to just go ahead and blitz out, finish the last couple of characters off with what I have left, and call it a day. Now this kind of brings me to one of the other important points about this. I've gotten a lot of questions on why Dooku. Is Dooku really the leader that you need for this? And I think yes. You could make an argument that you could put someone else in there for maybe more health to General Grievous, etc. But the main benefit that you're going to find here with Dooku is when you do get down to that last part where there's not a lot of health left on the enemy, and your L3 is hanging by a thread, and you're not sure if you're going to get a revive again. There's healing immunity on the other side, meaning they're not going to start regening their health and protection, and that's really critical to making sure that once they get there, they start to stay there. And then, as important, you can counterattack with General Grievous. So once the stacking damage is ended and L3 doesn't come back, he's still going to be counterattacking the other side, and that's going to still do a lot of damage, and hopefully allow you to finish off the one or two characters that you have left. That I have in a few instances found that I didn't lose L3, and I end with maybe 4 characters, but most of the time it's going to be General Grievous, Vander Chewbacca, and Hermit Yoda versus 1 or 2, and again, generally there's enough damage on General Grievous by that point, given his stacking health, that you can feel pretty good that you're going to be able to get through it. So a lot of decision making to consider here. I've slowed down, or I've frozen the screen on those areas where you have to make a decision, and you have to make sure that you think about it from a whose turn is it going to be next, who are they going to hit, is it going to be L3, and if so, is Vander Chewbacca prepared? If not, what do I do? Can I stun potentially if Darth Revan is out of the picture? A lot of things to consider, but I've done many versions of this with many G13 on the other side, and I am getting much more consistent with my counters, and it doesn't even have to have Hermit Yoda actually start the battle. He can sometimes go second or even third, just making sure that he does get that initial master's training off is the most important. So a lot of things to consider. Maybe I've missed something though. I would really love your opinion, what your thoughts are on this craft. If there's something that you're seeing in a turn order perspective or somewhere else in the game that you think it just needs to be seen, please let me know. Again, I've linked this Scoundrel Discord in the description below, and would love your feedback, would love your thoughts, would love your commentary. Again, this isn't going to be easy for everyone. It does take an investment into, in my opinion, two of the best tanks in the game to get them to an equal footing of Malak on the other side. But if you're planning long term, you like the faction, you like having some of these off the wall counters, I say it's a very worthy cause. So I'm going to go ahead and let this footage play out. If you like the videos, please again feel free to hit the subscribe button. Much appreciated, and I will see you again in the holotables. Thanks, y'all.